Well, Arsenal has finally gone ahead to win a game, and there are lots of pointers that we're obviously going to be looking at in here onto the Rokani Media Football. Full time, Arsenal 2, Brentford 0. A game of football that, if you haven't gone ahead to watch it, you might think that it was a walkover for the side of Arsenal. You understand? But never was it a walkover for the side of Arsenal. I can tell you, though Arsenal was the first to score, they scored in the 11th minute through Merino, the manager making some huge changes. But I tell you what, it was not business as usual at the Emirates. Brentford brought their A game, and they went ahead to obviously bench 3 of their top players, and they brought them on, and obviously Arsenal went ahead to obviously kill off the game through Saka. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Premier League has taken shape into match day 14, and as they take shape into match day 14, a lot is really happening. And in the due course of all this happening, I want to let you know that continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers onto this channel. And the moment we hit 30, I tell you what, that will be a huge milestone for this beautiful channel, as you guys will be the one who have gone ahead obviously make this possible. First and foremost, the manager went ahead to make some changes from those that he played when they're really playing at Chelsea. Benjamin White came in through, Noni Madueke came in through, and really started with Martin Odegaard. 3 changes made. That means Julian Timber was benched, though he later came on. Ebelechi Eze was benched, though he later came on. And Bukayo Saka was benched into that particular fixture. But after all that, Arsenal went ahead to win this game. It was Merino in the 11th minute, and I liked the build-up of that goal. With the way Martin Odegaard took his time, took his time in the central axis and played in a player known as Benjamin White. Benjamin White played in, Odegaard played in Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke went ahead to obviously do a flick, and Odegaard ran towards the byline. Ben White ran towards the line, and when he ran towards the line, he went ahead to put in a very huge shift, and the ball went into the back of the net. That is the most interesting bit of this all. And he put out a very beautiful assist for Merino to nod that ball into the back of the net, and it was really a beauty of a good work done into the make. So I really loved everything that I really went ahead to see in there, and I tell you what, it was a moment of joy for the club, for the fans of Arsenal who were at the Emirates, because sometimes there are things you need to happen to you to see to it that you really pass those tests, and when you pass those tests, obviously it's always good. Arteta, seeing these games coming in through thick and fast, he was worried about his team, because you cannot really judge your players not until such games are really done, because they're coming thick and fast, and it's a test of mentality. And I think Arsenal's going to have to obviously pass that. But from there, before the second goal came in through towards the end of the game, the man known as Merino went ahead to obviously make a very beautiful play that saved Arsenal from really conceding a goal. And Opta Joe has told us that since the start of last season, no Premier League player has scored more headed goals in all competitions than Arsenal's Merino, heading in 8 of his 14 goals in the time. So the guy has gone ahead to prove to the world that he's deadly at his Elio prowess is really unmatched in the Premier League. He scored that opening goal as Merino, and Opta Joe has gone ahead to obviously mark that stat, and is like, it was something incredible coming in through from the defensive 9 of Arsenal, as the manager Mikel Arteta regards him to be in there for you. So as it stands, Arsenal went ahead to keep a clean sheet because of that big save that was made by a player known as David Raya. I wish I could find that save in here. He really made a very, very, very beautiful save. And I think I captured it somewhere. Let me try to obviously drop it here. All right, where is it? All right, so that's the save that he made around the 21st minute. Those were 10, 11 minutes after Arsenal had gone ahead to obviously score their first goal. So he kept them in play, and the lad put up a very huge performance. And I'm talking about David Raya. I think that's the only time they came close at him. And it was a set piece, well directed into his goal area, and he palmed it off, off target, and it really went ahead to hit the bar, and it came back into play, and it was cleared. Was it by Martin Odegaard, if I'm not really mistaken? So that he was a very huge attempt put him through by Brentford, but it was put to cold by the goalkeeper known as David Raya. Now, with that, Arsenal went ahead to keep a clean sheet, and Saka came in through and obviously scored a goal in the 90th plus first minute. Bukayo Saka came up and obviously scored a very, very, very beautiful goal in here. And I want to show you this goal that it came in through and how it came in through. I really liked how Merino, first and foremost, people won't really appreciate the effort of Martin Odegaard for providing what we call, is it a secondary assist for, a secondary assist for this goal that really cut Arsenal off the line or rope in there. Because Odegaard went ahead to do the unthought of. Every time Odegaard gets hold of that ball, when you think of what he's going to do, he really defies what you think. He defies people's contemplations when he's really playing the game. And everyone thought that was going to lay that ball onto the out wide right. But he was like, the most deadly bit of it all is that central pass. And he read the run of Merino like a book, and he released Merino, and Merino went ahead to obviously release a player known as Bukayo Saka. Saka got hold of that ball. There was a well-placed Victor Gyökeres, and if at all he gave it to Victor Gyökeres, Gyökeres would have gone ahead to obviously tap it to the back of the net. By Saka, went ahead to hit it off the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper tried to palm it, but it really had a lot of energy, and it ended up dropping into the back of the net. I tell you, the lad was that special and went ahead to put in a very huge shift in there altogether. That is Bukayo Saka. But before that goal, there is a chance that he really missed. And it was a brilliant move by a player known as Riccardo Carafiori. Carafiori came up, and when he came up, he went ahead to obviously shoot at goal, and the goalkeeper fisted that ball into the vicinity of Bukayo Saka, and Bukayo Saka couldn't put that ball into the back of the net. So it looked like a moment where Arsenal had gone ahead to pull out all the energy to go ahead and obviously score. And indeed, it really worked out in their favor as a club of Arsenal, and that's how everything went ahead to look out for them. But all in all, Arsenal is doing the needful. I think there was a big test for the club of Arsenal, right? And they've gone ahead to keep a clean sheet. Remember, Arsenal had spent how many games? Are they 3? Sunderland, no clean sheet. Tottenham Hotspur, no clean sheet. Chelsea, no clean sheet. Those have been 3 games consecutively in the Premier League without keeping a clean sheet, and they've gone ahead obviously keep it again. And it showed you that they really put in a very huge shift. But there was another injury that was sustained by a player of Arsenal who goes by names of Mosquera, and it was taken off. And that means from having very many forwards injured to getting very many defenders injured, because as we speak right now, Saliba is injured, Magalhaes is injured, Mosquera has gone ahead to join the list. But what helps Arsenal is that they really have variety. I told you that Arsenal, whichever player you're seeing at Arsenal that plays in the center, that plays in defense, or like as fullback, he can play in the central defense. I think apart from Lewis Kelly, but the rest of the players, Hincapi can, Carafiori can, Timber can. You've gone ahead to see to it that he came on and obviously played in that central defense with Mosquera was really taken off. I thought that Ben White was obviously going to shift to play into the central defense, but the manager was like, Timber, go ahead and obviously do the needful. And you remember, Timber's best position is that, if at all you watched him play at a club known as Ajax. But all in all, he really had a very beautiful game and came in through and kept the clean sheet for the club of Arsenal. I really understand that there is a point that you want me to talk about, it's all about the substitutions and how rich the bench of Arsenal has been today, because he brought on Julian Timber, he brought on Saka, he brought on Eze, and he brought on Gyökeres. Now, if you are having such a bench, you are really blessed. You are really blessed. And that's what I really think about this team. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And they've gone ahead, obviously, extend their lead again back to 5 points ahead of Chelsea. And we'll wait to see how things will obviously pan out at the end of it all in here onto the Rokani Media Football. But Arsenal is winning. Saka has gone ahead to score a goal, and I think if there is a player that needed a goal, it has been Saka. That's why even when there was a well-placed Victor Gyökeres, he was like, Gyökeres, please understand the situation. I'm not going to come up and obviously give you this. Igor Thiago was brought on, and he couldn't obviously cause any havoc to the club of Arsenal, apart from really trying to really bully everyone around. But all in all, the club of Arsenal has gone ahead to win its game of football today. At Emirates, in all games they've gone ahead to play, who has managed to obviously make them drop points was City, and they drew 1-1. The rest of the games, Arsenal has gone ahead to collect maximum points in there. Now, we head on to the team stats. 15 shots by Arsenal, Brentford had 5. 7 shots on target by Arsenal, Brentford had 0. That means they really defended very well. 64% ball possession by Arsenal, 36% ball possession by Brentford. 498 passes completed by Arsenal, 250 passes completed by Brentford. 90% passing accuracy by Arsenal, 83% passing accuracy by Brentford. 7 fouls by Arsenal, 10 by Brentford. 0 yellow cards to Arsenal and 1 yellow card side of Brentford. 0 red cards to either sides. 0 offsides to either sides. 4 corners to the side of Arsenal and 8 corners to the side of Brentford. And the other factor again, Arsenal never needed a set piece to score a goal. Many people were asking themselves, can Arsenal live without scoring set pieces? They've gone ahead, obviously, exhibit it into your eyes that, yes, indeed they can, and they're trying to obviously put in a very huge shift altogether. And we get to the Premier League right now, and we get into the Premier League and how they're really doing their stuff in here. We are having a club known as Arsenal, and we head to the table and see how things are really panning out into the mix. All right. Arsenal on top of the Premier League, 14 games, they're having 33 points. Man City, second, 14 games, they're having 28 points. Arsenal is 5 points clear ahead of City. Aston Villa, 14 games, 27 points. Chelsea is losing to Leeds by 3-1. They're having 24. Crystal Palace, 23. Sunderland, 23 points, and they are 6th. 7th is Brighton with 22 points. Liverpool is now playing. Liverpool 1-1 with Sunderland, 22 points. Man United playing tomorrow. If they win, they go to 24 points in there for you. So that's all about a club known as Arsenal and how the table is really looking. For Brentford, that is going to lose to Arsenal, they are 13th in there. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Player ratings, loading, and so much more about this beautiful encounter that Arsenal is going to hit, obviously, bringing through. So we sign out, and good night. Those going to bed and those still awake, we love you all.